And we've got Scott Kilpatrick from Rockhampton. So how are you doing, Scott? You can hear us?
Good afternoon. Yeah, we're weathering the cyclone, but we're definitely into it.
Fantastic.
Now, Scott, Ian didn't mention what it is you do there. Do you mind sharing with the folks what it is you do, how long you've been doing it, maybe some of your background, Scott? You're one of us today, of course, but you didn't start out that way. Can you tell the folks a bit about your history, please?
Yeah, my name is Scott Kilpatrick. I've got a company in Rockhampton called Affordable Quality Homes, and we build low-set brick veneer homes within 90 kilometers of Rockhampton. 1991 is when we first kicked off, and I thought I was really clever, and I thought I knew all about marketing. It's always been a real passion of mine, and it took a while before I realized that really I didn't know anything about marketing, and that's when I met Mal, and things very dramatically changed in our business, especially as we addressed things like my mindset, realizing when I looked at some of the direct response marketing, thinking, okay, that's good for this business or that business, but my business is different, and that was one of the first corrections Mal and Ian had to make on me is my mindset, and getting it straightened out that I am really a marketer, and building houses is what the subcontractors do, whereas first and foremost we had to sort of find out who we really are, and we really are, just like everybody on this call, we are all really marketers first and foremost. Everything else will just come to being, and of course. But unfortunately, at the time when I met Mal, I was in a pretty bad way, very bad way, about $750,000 in the red, and which is usually too late for most people. But thanks to all the things that have happened since then, we have gone very far in the other direction, even though there's a supposed recession out there. And I want to encourage everybody to sort of listen to every word that Mal has to say. It's had a very dramatic impact on my life, and also the environment of Street Smart, where basically we all help each other to grow each other's business because we're one big, happy family.
Yeah, look, Scott, could I thank you first for sharing your predicament. Not everybody would have the courage to say that. Could you tell us about your process? Can you reflect back on the process that you've gone through to get from where you are? And you were brave enough and kind enough to share with everybody that you were 750 grand the other way. What's been the process for you, Scott?
Right. Firstly, I could hear Dan okay for some reason. But the process, firstly, Mal, I just want to mention that I'm not sure who's on this call right now, but I just want to mention that when I was first introduced to yourself, I realized that this is what I really needed. But still, even though I paid the good money for being a part of Street Smart, I was still a little bit reluctant to come to the first business school, just purely and simply because I had in my mind that it was going to be a sell-fest situation whereby it was going to be sort of a number of people selling, and I didn't realize, and I missed the first school, and then I went to the second one and felt so embarrassed at how much I had missed out, and how I lost 3 months of my life by missing that first Street Smart business school. That would have been a great help if I would have showed up to that one, just because I misunderstood what Street Smart were actually all about, people helping people to get where they're actually going. And of course, from there, from the very first time that I had met with yourself before I joined Street Smart School, you gave me an idea of giving away a part of making the bonus your product. And so we started something where our first Mal Emery idea we implemented was giving away, including in the price of a house, but giving away a outdoor modular kitchen that cost us about $1,400 because we were able to get a number of them in bulk, but it had a perceived retail value of $3,500, and it's something you wouldn't normally buy yourself, and we had extreme sales months for for the next 2 months as we did it this month only, introducing a bit of scarcity, which I also learned from yourself. These sorts of things made a massive difference very suddenly, very instantly to our business. And that's when I realized, when I missed the first school, that hang on, I need to be with people that are like-minded, that are interested in growing their business and finding out what they're doing to grow their business, and things that I can implement. And Ian Marsh started coaching me, and it was one of the best things that's ever happened to our business and our company, because we could actually, Ian coached me into developing the systems that we need in place. I had never thought of a marketing system before I'd come across yourself. So that was the first thing that we really started working on, was getting our marketing system in place and automating it so it could, so the marketing could happen without us. And of course, that's something that we work on continuously. It's now been what, 4.5 years since we met, and this is something that we're always working on, tweaking and introducing new ideas to actually get to where we are. And because of the different things I've learned in Street Smart, which it seems like every time I come to any sort of session, read any of the books, any of the newsletters, there's always something there that makes a pretty dynamic difference to our business. Not just the ideas, but also the things that we need to put in place in our own mindsets, like I was talking about before. And it's not just a matter of marketing either, because Street Smart has given us a lot of good management ideas and has a lot of really good management people that come to these seminars, like Robin Pierce from New Zealand and people like that have really helped our business. You know, Mal, you don't know this, but since I've met you, I have really gladly invested over $160,000 in my education with regards to marketing and improving our business. But that is just a drop compared to the absolute return that we've received from that investment. And Ian first informed me of that. The more you're prepared to invest in your own education, the greater the return is going to be. There is nothing that I haven't implemented that you have given us that hasn't made a big difference. Yes, it may have started out and we were on a little bit of a wrong track, and then we had to tweak whatever we're doing to get it to work out well, but in the end, they all work out well. Mal, the only ones that I've invested in that haven't worked out well were the ones that are still sitting in the box on the shelf that I haven't implemented from some of your friends that we've bought, not yourself, but other systems we've bought from some of your other friends that we really should have implemented, but we have just been too lazy, and that is my fault. And I know that if I want a return on those investments, then I need to get out and put it into place. So between then and now, yes, exactly the same as Ali, you've turned us into entrepreneurs, and realizing that we don't look for jobs anymore. We actually look for business opportunities that are actually investments that actually make us money. Don't create work and jobs for us. But it's been a really great journey, and I'm very grateful not only to yourself and Ian, Mal, but also to all the others that are in Street Smart that have helped me and my family along our way. And I just want to say thank you. Ali and Danny, you've been great in this as well, because I've been listening a number of times that you've been speaking, and I just find I learn something new every time I listen to Street Smart business people telling me their story.
So, Scott, I had a question I had in my head there for you, but I mean, you have made that transition to a marketer, obviously. What strategies in particular? I know for a fact you sell homes, we know that, but you have outrageous guarantees. Can you share some of that with the folk, and maybe how your underwear might have tightened in the early times when we talked about having outrageous guarantees? I know that's one thing that's been a big game changer for you.
Yes, it really has. Trying to have unique selling propositions, outrageous guarantees is definitely one of the very biggest unique selling propositions that we offer our customers. To start out with, our biggest return on the guarantee was a 6-year unconditional guarantee on a house, so unconditional that even if you blow a light bulb in the next 6 years, we'll come and replace it for you. And yes, it did turn our underwear very, very tight, but much to my surprise, and we allowed 0.7% in the price of the house to actually do that guarantee, but much to our absolute surprise, no one ever takes you up on that guarantee. Very, very rare does anybody come back and ask you to do menial little tasks. But when you come and you do it with a smile, it makes a massive difference when they realize that you're not looking for ways to weasel out of it, different weasel clauses, that you really are not only good with your guarantee, but you're happy to do it and do it straight away. It makes a massive difference. Another guarantee that we've just started implementing, mainly to do with investors. If you buy a standard, one of our standard designs and use one of our standard color selections on a residential block, then if for any reason or even no reason, you don't have to give us a reason, after in the 6-month period after we've handed over the house, if you change your mind, we will buy that house and your block of land back off you for whatever you paid for it. It's a risk reversal thing. That's another thing that you taught me, Mal, was risk reversal, where we're prepared to take on the risk. So that if you don't even need a reason, you don't even have to tell us, just phone us up and say, I've changed my mind, I want out, can you buy the house that you built and the block of land that I bought for you to put the house on, we just take it from there. And again, it's given people enormous peace of mind, and we haven't had anybody that's taken us up on it, but there would be no problem if they did take us up on it. It sounds scary. It's scaring my wife to bits. But the fact of the matter is we actually have another superannuation company that would like to take up any of our customers that actually do that, would actually like to buy it. So we've actually got the customer teed up should any of our customers decide that they would like to take advantage of that peace of mind. And I assure you there will be no questions asked. It will be just straight out, fine, that's no worries, we'll organize the paperwork right now. So yes, outrageous, hairy, scary guarantees have made a really big difference, and again, I thank you for that, Mel.
You're welcome, Scott. I mean, you did the maths and psychology on this. In other words, you looked at the maths, what you could afford to guarantee, and psychologically wise, and then you looked at the numbers, which is your mathematics, and obviously the result is you sell a whole lot more homes, and I suspect you dominate your category or industry in your general area. Is that a fair comment, Scott?
It's a very fair comment. Talking about doing the math, something that Ian had taught me while he was coaching me that's really important for everybody to learn is the maths with regards to it. For example, you have convinced me that you don't sell on price, but to find a reason that people will be very happy to pay you, say, another 10% for your house, 10% more than your competition for your house. Is now increasing the price of a house by 10%. Is increasing your profitability by about 100%. And these, you really do need to look at doing the maths, whereas everybody else is discounting, thinking it's a supply and demand game. It's certainly not that at all. It's a confidence game, and people are happy to pay more if you give them good reason to want to pay you more. And of course, you taught us that, and you're right. Good maths, as you say in all your books, good maths does not substitute, good marketing does not substitute poor maths.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Ian wanted to add something there. Ian, what did you want to say, mate?
Yeah, now, look, there are a huge number of people on this call, but I'm going to say something very obvious, and I'll tell you from the bottom of my heart. Is there anyone out there, knowing what you now know about Scott Kilpatrick and his building company, that would consider any other competitor when you know that you've got such a genuine individual that stands behind his product so well and will make guarantees like that to ensure that his clients are looked after? I mean, I, for one, would be buying property from you, Scott. So, and we may need to talk after Harry Dent.
That's it.
So we need to move on, Scott. Thank you very much. Do you mind?
Just before you go, I'm at the Harry Dent in Brisbane. If any of the listeners to this call would like to talk with me, I'll be very open with them about anything I've discussed.
Thank you very much. I wish we had more time, but we're going to try and keep to schedule.
And Scott, the sort of thoughts, I mean, once again, you're exposed to the knowledge and the information. What sort of thoughts were running through your head when you first walked into our environment, mate?
Well, I didn't know what I was getting into, but I saw a lot of very happy people that were very glad to be there, and to me it was a very eye-opening environment, and realized it was something that I really needed to be a part of.